岡島さんは今何をおっしゃいと言いますか。あなた遅いです。
Okay, our next film, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm coming at this film from a perspective of a person who has never read the comic books, has never seen the TV shows, has never seen the previous films of any type. This is the very first encounter I've ever had with this type of with this product line, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Great action film. It does hold your interest. It will hold your interest throughout the film. The audience was mostly children, but not completely children. One family was there, and I guess they were just there to kill time because during the movie they stood up and they got in the aisle and they had a huddle because they were discussing something that was going on. I'm not kidding you, they were in the aisle standing up in a huddle discussing something else. They weren't there to watch the movie at all. It was a total distraction. Somewhere around the beginning of the movie, I tried to pay attention, but they were right in front of me. The teenage son seemed to know that this was not right for this film because he turned around and he looked in my direction like an apology, sorry for disrupting you. And the mother eventually got up and she grabbed her cell phone, ran out of the room, came back in again. But overall, the children that did watch it got involved near the end, the fight scene. They seemed to like it. I thought the characters were very interesting to watch, especially the surfer dude type of character. I can't remember his name. Leonardo maybe, or Raphael. I don't know. The rat, who's also called Splinter, apparently he's their teacher, was the grossest looking thing I've ever seen in a long time. I almost couldn't look at him because he was just so gross looking. They were fighting a villain called Shredder, who wore a robotic suit that had lots of knives on it, thus Shredder. Overall, the film is, like I said, it'll hold your attention. I don't think it was that great of an action adventure, but it was interesting to watch, and the characters of the various turtles, they were very distinct. You could tell one turtle from the other. Stories about a little kid who grew up in her father's lab, as a visitor. She wasn't an experiment, but she adopted these 4 little turtles that they were experimenting on, and the rat that they were experimenting on. And during a fire inside the factory, the lab, she rescued these animals, and they got down into a sewer and escaped from being destroyed. She was feeding them pizza, which plays a big part in this film. They actually adopted to eating pizzas. Eventually the turtles grew up. The rat learned from a book on ninjas how to fight, and he passed on his knowledge to the turtles. And they all grew up huge size, like human size. Shredder joins up with the owner of the lab, who had his lab sabotaged by the little girl's father, who knew that this type of experiment was being used for no good. It was being used to gain control over people and take over New York through New York City, where they were at, through bribery. They were trying to, the owner of the lab was trying to create a disease that would kill people, but he would be the only one who had the antidote for it as well. So thus he can prop himself up, give everybody this disease, prop himself up, and become the hero of the day, but also gain money because he was the only one that could cure anybody. So Shredder joins in. He's part of this team, but they can't go any further because not only are the turtles and the rat lost, the equipment's lost. The little girl's father gets shot to death as he's discovered as sabotaging this lab. He dies in the lab fire, apparently. They find out later that he actually was shot. But the turtles grow up, they're in the sewer. The rat won't let them out of the sewer because he says they're not ready yet. Or the rat's training. The whole purpose of the rat's training is to teach the turtles to fight crime, which they do eventually. There's a showdown at the end. The turtles eventually leave the lab on their own. They do fight crime. The rat eventually finds out. And he's proud of them but punishes them for leaving too early. And eventually there's a showdown between Shredder, Splinter, and the three turtles, with the girl helping. And the turtles win the day. The most spectacular scene is this race down a mountain with trucks and, you know, this great big, I don't know what you call it in your country. It could be a lorry, tractor trailer, a freight liner, depending on where you live. This huge truck down the side of a mountain. They're just sliding down. There's no road. They're just sliding down this mountain. This spectacular snow scene. I really enjoyed watching that. That was done so well. You will enjoy it if you like action, if you're into that sort of thing. This is a fairly decent movie. It's a good movie. Highly recommend it. It's good for kids. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah, you'd probably like this.